March 29th, 2024 Daily Bread. Passage Luke chapter 23, verse 26 through 43. Key verse 34a. Title: Jesus' Prayer of Forgiveness. As the soldiers led him away, they seized Simon from Cyrene, who was on his way in from the country, and put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. A large number of people followed him, including women who mourned and wailed for him. Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children. For the time will come when you will say, 'Blessed are the childless women, the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed.' Then they will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us.' For if the people do these things when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?" 2 other men, both criminals, were also led out with him to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there, along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He saved others. Let him save himself, if he is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him, which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Daily Bread Message. Luke's detailed crucifixion account gives us a glimpse into Jesus' suffering at the hands of sinners. After a night of torture, Jesus was too weak to carry his cross, so soldiers forced a pilgrim from northern Africa to take up the heavy wooden cross. Crowds followed. Women mourned and wailed loudly. Though a slow and painful death awaited Jesus, he turned his attention to the women and warned them that they and their children would face terrible trials ahead. Jesus was crucified between 2 criminals. He was publicly humiliated and guilty by association. People mocked Jesus for his ministry and his claims about himself. One of the criminals hurled insults at him. Jesus had every reason to be angry and bitter. He could have used his power to get justice, or at least found comfort in a few people's sympathy. But Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Jesus also prayed for us. In our sins and spiritual ignorance, we did not know what we are doing. But like the other criminal, we can cry out to Jesus, "Jesus, remember me." God will forgive our sins, and we can also be with Jesus in paradise. Prayer. Father, thank you for Jesus, who prayed from the cross for my forgiveness. One word: Jesus, remember me.